Okay, so I know I was just on, but it's funny, I turned on Michael Singer. I hope you guys can hear me. I turned on Michael Singer just after the last video I did, and it was like at this place. This is great, right? There's people all around me while I'm doing this. So it was at this place in the lecture series where he was talking about ripples on like a pond, and he was saying like our pond's like our psyche, and we know that things are going to drop into it, like rocks or stones or whatever, and we can see our reflection in the pond. But then when something drops into it, the water gets kind of wavy, and I get kind of self-conscious. The water gets wavy, and we know that it's ripples on the water, right? And that's how we should be. It's the same thing as our psyche, right? So the pond's our psyche, and the world is going on around us, and maybe some wind blows, and maybe a rock falls in, maybe someone throws a rock in, whatever the case may be, the water becomes disturbed. And as people who've been alive, we know that these things happen. Something drops in, the outside world drops in, and it creates waves and ripples in the energy that is our mind and our heart. And if we are wise, we look at the ripples and we say, hey, so a rock came in, a rock plopped in, or someone put a rock there, or the water's going, or whatever. And that's what happens. And then when that happens, every single time it happens, and it happens again and again, the water gets ripples, right? And I look funny when I look into it. Like my face gets all weird because my reflection's all distorted. But I know for a fact that that's not actually what's happening to my face. It's what's happening in the water. And I know that if I let it alone, if I leave it alone, it will come back to like homeostasis, right? It'll eventually calm and become still again. And then he was saying that's how we have to approach like emotional disturbances. If a rock gets put in there and we've got these waves caused by whatever just happened or whatever is happening on the outside world, we get these waves inside of us that are disturbances in our psyche and in our emotions or in our hearts, that we just watch them. That's for, I don't know if this helps anybody else, but it's a good analogy for me. That really helps me that really helps me clue into the feeling, I think, because I can say relax and release and observe as much as I want, but when I have this idea, this is so true, I don't know, everybody's not the same, but for me, like the idea of having, looking at the water, being someone, I've looked at the water, I'm looking at the water right now, right? It's all ripply, and I am observing it, and I see that, the wind happened or whatever, and there's ripples. There are ripples. Okay, great. People right behind me. This is not. Anyway. So I can, as an observer from here, I can see the water, and that gives me a really good idea of the way it's supposed to feel when you're watching the ripples in your psyche and in your hearts, right? Like, that's the kind of observing that we're supposed to be doing. And that, to me, that categorizes it. And because I can make that analogy, I can understand how exactly I should be, or I could be, thinking about these things. And if I think about the waves and ripples in my psyche and my heart, the way I'm thinking about the waves and ripples on that pond, like that means something to me. And I hope that means something to you. And I hope that you find this useful. So I just wanted to come on because the second I turned Michael Singer on, it was exactly where I needed it to be to help me deal with what's going on right now. Anyway, I thought I'd share that, and I'd go back now to listening to Michael Singer. And I'm grateful for you guys. So, and I'm grateful that I'm embarrassed. Anyway, right? Maybe not. Anyway, again, you too can always choose to have a grateful day.